America is witnessing a deja vu moment. Wuhan virus cases have tripled in 2 weeks. Hospitalizations are at their highest in months. Washington says the unpredictability of the virus is behind the surge, but vaccine hesitancy also has a big role to play. The Biden administration is failing on its vaccine targets. 97% of all new hospitalizations are among unvaccinated people, and 99.5% of all recent deaths are also among those who did not take a vaccine. This also begs the question, should governments alone be blamed every time there's a new wave, or do people also deserve the blame for disregarding norms and science?
The Wuhan virus is making a steady comeback in the United States. The country is averaging more than 57,000 cases a day, along with 24,000 hospitalizations every week. All 50 states have seen more than 25% increase in cases in the last 2 weeks, and most of the country is now in the red or orange zones. The worst hit are the states of Nebraska, Massachusetts, Florida, Tennessee, California, Washington, D.C., and Vermont. They've all been declared the new hotspots. But what's behind this spike in cases? An ever-evolving virus. The highly infectious Delta variant now accounts for 80% of the cases. America's top disease expert, Anthony Fauci, says the health system wasn't prepared for this variant and based its recommendations on the Alpha variant instead.
What's changed, Judy, is the virus has changed. The recommendations and the discussion that we were having months ago that the CDC was basing their recommendations on were dealing what was called the Alpha variant, which is considerably different than the Delta variant. The Delta variant has a very unusual capability of spreading much more easily than the Alpha did.
The virus can be a wily character, no doubt, but human culpability behind its resurgence cannot be downplayed. The onslaught of vaccine hesitancy is another contributor to the spike in cases. According to Rochelle Walensky, the director of the CDC, only 49.25% of the American population has been fully vaccinated. 97% of those recently hospitalized are unvaccinated, and 99.5% of recent deaths are also among the unvaccinated. Doctors are calling the new wave an epidemic of the unvaccinated.
As Rochelle Walensky, the CDC director, has said, this is an epidemic of the unvaccinated. The problem is this, even though the vaccines seem, if you're fully immunized, seem to be holding up very well against symptomatic illness, moderate and severe illness, and keeping people out of the hospital. The hope was, based on original lineages, that these vaccines would also halt asymptomatic transmission to other people. And now that's been put into question because of the higher amounts of virus in the upper airways.
But what explains vaccine hesitancy in the most advanced country in the world? Washington blames the failure of tech giants to counter vaccine misinformation. According to a new investigation, nearly 284 public and private anti-vaccine groups are thriving actively on Facebook. They have 520,000 members that are spreading misinformation and conspiracy theories about vaccines. The American president says such platforms are killing people.
They're killing people. I mean, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated. And they're killing people.
The Wuhan virus is making a superpower struggle once again. There are lessons to learn for everybody. The foremost being the fact that blaming the political leadership is easy every time the cases rise. But sometimes the society needs to hold a mirror to itself and own up to its mistake of violating norms and disregarding science. Bureau Report. WION World is One.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.